social media. And Terry kind of, took a step back to talk about how 2015 was and, how this time around will be. So there is a lot to talk about. There is a lot to be careful about. But also the social media platforms that people use, they have also been coming out, to try and see how they can curb the spread of fake news and also misinformation. Maybe you can give us a little bit of.
Because at the end of the day, the social media giants, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they cannot say they're not aware of the power that they have or the power that the platform itself has. And so some of these guys are already jumping into the fray saying, you know what, we are aware of what can happen if people use these platforms for evil, quote unquote. And then they're taking steps. For instance, WhatsApp already has a technology, or sorry, an update that they have. You cannot forward a message to more than 5 people.
Which makes sense.
So instead of, someone getting a message, which is probably fake news,
and he spreads
and
his
then
1,000
sends to
contact list.
all his contacts, everyone in his contact on his contact list, that's within 5 minutes.
It's gone.
And people keep sending, and honestly, we all talk about our elderly people who are always fond of just sending things. So imagine what happens.
If you have an African mom, you understand what we're talking about. But we have to wrap it up on the program at this moment. Of course, we would have loved to have all of these perspectives from our studio guests, but I mean, sometimes technology, like I said earlier on,
should we check once again for Skype?
Well, hopefully, Ademola Adeoko, if you can hear us, thanks for joining us on the program.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Great.
Oh, fantastic. Great. So we were just talking about, of course, like you said, you can hear us clearly. We're talking about the role social media will be playing this time around, as the election is just a few hours away. What's your thought?
Yeah. Well, I think to a large extent, social media has proven itself to be an online platform, more or less like running a parallel platform that runs alongside the reality on ground. Although we can't compare reality to what goes on social media, but of course, social media has shown itself to be a very big player in terms of politics across the world, not just in Nigeria. The platforms that we have in Nigeria, the 2 most active platforms, which is Facebook and Twitter, has also shown, apart from being platforms where people come to actually have conversations about the polity, but also for politicians to also sell their own agenda and their mandate to people. So I can say categorically that social media has come to become a huge force to reckon with in politics across the globe and not just in Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. Like you said, not only in Nigeria, we saw what happened during the U.S. elections, and there was also this this scandal around data that was harvested during exactly. So people will be scared that this is likely to happen this time around in Nigeria. Don't you think so?
Well, I think the platforms are actually working on these problems. Of course, I remember that the last time there was a firm that was said to have been hired to do a dirty job by an unnamed Nigerian billionaire who was actually afraid that Goodluck Jonathan was going to lose the elections. This person actually planted fake news on social media sites to scare voters from voting for the opposition candidates. And I think it became a very huge scandal. As a matter of fact, the London-based data mining and analytic firm, SCL, which is the parent company of Cambridge Analytica, tried to rig the 2015 Nigerian presidential election in favor of the incumbent president, Goodluck Jonathan. And I think this problem has been identified. And so far, I think what Facebook has been able to do, basically, is to only accept ads from verified individuals and maybe politicians. Of course, heading towards the 2019 general elections, they are not accepting ads from just anybody. They are making sure that they are doing a proper verification before they allow any political ad to come on their platform. I don't think this is going to be the permanent
Ademola, please hold that thought. Just hang in there. We need to bring in Kolo Kenneth into this conversation. He's in our Abuja studios. Thank you for joining us, Kolo.
Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. Now we will be talking about the role social media will play in this election, the role it's played in, other elections, and just the entire, if I may use the word vibe. It's a social media language.
Oh, yeah.
The vibe around this particular election, what have you observed so far?
I mean, if Facebook and WhatsApp have had to publish on traditional newspapers how people should know what's fake news or not, then it tells the importance of how social media is being used for these elections. So on either side, the good side and the bad side, there have been the use of social media. We've seen political parties using social media to campaign and canvass for people's sentiments towards their candidates. We've also seen civil society organizations, the electoral umpire, also using social media for civic engagement, in as much as the people in the rural areas are being reached via physical means. There's also that push with pictures, with animations, with videos, and with rich content on social media to reach people about electoral procedures, what to look out for, to get people to go out to collect their PVCs, to also educate people on what to do when they get to polling units on election day. That's very important because we might think people know what to do when they get to polling centers. But these information and the feedback, the engagement levels have shown that people are interested, they want to know, they're asking questions on these issues. On the flip side, I know that a couple of newsrooms across Nigeria came together as well, especially around issues of disinformation and misinformation. And my organization, Kudis in Partnership, we're working on verifying information that goes out. So we created a WhatsApp group where people can send queries.
How do you verify what people send, Kolo?
Find any information.
Kolo, how do you verify what people send?
Okay, so people would send in queries with accompanying pictures or videos or links to this information. And then it goes to the investigative team of this coalition of newsrooms, and the investigative team would look at the digital blueprint of these things. We look for metadata, we look for critical information, we look at whether pictures have been photoshopped and stuff like that. Sometimes we also need to contact the people who are being framed or pushed with this information to confirm if, for example, they were at a scene of what was said to have happened.
All right, Kolo,
we also check their schedule. So we use we use social media as well to check their schedule if they were at a place.
All right, Kolo, I would have
to write a report.
I would have to hold you there. Thanks for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts, as well as Demola Adeoko, who joined us via Skype from Abuja. But that's why we have to wrap it up. Maiwa?
We have to get back to the big studio, right?
Exactly. Like Ijoma said, the ship is changing.
Thank you so much.